So, hey everyone, welcome to Grind with Heart. We're excited to have you here, and this channel is about rebuilding your business, your relationships, and your family life. Well, our business, our relationships, and our family life, but then we help you rebuild yours because you get to have us share our story. And we do it with heart. So, we've been through a lot and we know how tough it can be to balance everything. That's why we're here. So, to share our journey, hopefully, we can inspire you to keep pushing forward. And before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. We love to hear your thoughts.
Also, again, you guys, this is Rose. I'm Nay. You guys didn't know. So, this part, we kind of wanted to talk about something that happened. It is kind of, not a good situation, but I did find out that my uncle had passed away, and it was his funeral, and it was some of the family members that, I hadn't been around and, hadn't seen for a long time. So that was kind of, nervous. I was kind of nervous too, on top of the fact that he did pass, and I did spend a lot of time with him throughout my years growing up. You know how family kind of goes, though. You kind of, veer off into your own situation. So I did find out about that. And that was kind of hard for me. Really, it was really hard. It was really hard. It was really hard,
What, you jumped?
No, I didn't jump. No, I didn't jump. But it was sorry y'all, I lost my
Take your time.
train of thought. But it was really hard. Like I said, I spent a lot of my years with him growing up. Like, he used to always have Christmas parties at his house. It'd be like everybody, the kids and their parents would come over, everybody would bring their sleeping bags, and we'll go over. It was before the actual Christmas day, and we'll spend a night, 1 or 2 days. It was have movies, make dinner, bake cookies. It was and Thanksgiving, we used to go over there. So it was memories that we had before. But like I said, we veered off, and to find out that he passed, that really was, hurtful to me. But we did end up having his service, at a church that I didn't know that my auntie, which is the one who died, my uncle, his auntie, technically, she was really in the church. She had been in the church for a long, long time. And come to find out, I'm gonna let you finish it about the rest.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so come to find out, so basically when we first got the information for the funeral, well, when she gave it to me, it was she was like, babe, guess what church is at? And I'm like, where? And she was like, your church. And so I'm like, wow. So when we got there, of course, sorry, of course, that's my church, hey chat. I'm also live on Twitch on the side while we're recording. So if I say chat, but you guys can comment too, because I'm talking to y'all too. So basically, when we got, of course, I was like, okay, I'm going to the church. I was a little nervous, but we even canceled a $60 food survey because you guys, we do a bunch of stuff. We be grinding for money, so we canceled a $60 food test that we had planned to stay longer, just so that we can have our kid meet everybody, because people haven't seen her in a long time. But it was very good. So after that, it was a great funeral, a great service. Of course, it's a funeral, but it was a phenomenal service. His daughter put the service together. She had a lot of help, but ultimately, she did put a lot of work into it, and she did really good. She got a standing ovation in the church, and this is not a small church. There's churches that are small, and you got, your big dog churches. This is a very big church. So, and his funeral filled the church, right? I'm talking about no parking. This funeral really filled the church. So getting the standing ovation with that many people, it was a really, really nice service. So then the next day, I was just really stressed Just because like I'm trying to figure out like how we're going to make money, like what are we going to do to make money. We have these businesses that we're trying to rebuild. We have bills to pay, and I'm just like, what am I going to do? So I'm praying, of course, coming back to my home church did something to me. I feel like anybody who grew up in a church and that's the church where you got saved and did everything at, of course you're going to, it's going to do something to you. So I'm just praying. I'm crying. I'm going through the whole thing. And then it's like 7 a.m. at this point. And then God's like, call the church. And I'm like, call the church for what? Like, because it's in my head. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, call the church for what? Call the church and say what? And like, I don't even know the number to the church. And like what? So then I call it. The church happened to open at 8. I call the church. And when I call the church, the person who answered the phone was a grant writer. Like, I literally told her everything. First, I just was like, hey, I need help. And she's like, well, what do you need help with? Like, she kind of chuckled, not in a rude way, but kind of like, it was just like straight up like, hey, I need help. And so I just let her know what was going on with our business and our social services, like our agency that we have that we're doing, and how we were struggling. And she happened to be a grant writer. And so the next day after that, if it wasn't for her uncle's funeral, I would have never made that call. And it's scary sometimes because it's like the grant writer gave us so much encouragement and invited us to speak with her, and is going to invite us to speak with Bishop as well. And like she actually, like this was back in October, right? But she actually kept her word because we just met with her this week in real time. It's January 11th, right? In real time, we met with her this week. So she kept her word and she's still keeping her word. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's why, y'all, it's moments like this when we say, it kind of ties back into what our channel is really about. Because, you have to follow sometime unexpected paths because I hadn't been around those family members for a long time and I wasn't involved. I didn't know if they were like going to be mad at me or, just stuff like that. So I was even thinking about not going. I know people will say like, what is the funeral? Like, no, I really was. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Like, for real, I'm telling y'all the truth. Like, I was thinking about not going because of that situation, but we literally went and she found out that it was literally her home church and it made her want to call the church. And now we got different type of things going on within the church. Like it just happens really, really crazy, you guys. So sometimes you do have to follow those paths that you may not think that it's kind of the path you want to path. Like just do it sometimes because it may take you somewhere else that you don't know. That God does have you on that right path to where you are supposed to be going.
For sure. And then, so hearing the kind of news, like just from even the day when I called on the phone, hearing that news, like she actually knew what we were trying to do. So many people, I know you guys probably hear like, oh, start a business, you can get grants. No one tells you like after you have everything with the business, like how do you get the grants, right? So, it took such a weight off of our shoulders, and it reminded us of how important it is to advocate for your loved ones and be there for your loved ones. Because she did a video for her uncle like maybe a year before everything happened, and we had so much going on. We were figuring out how we were going to pay our bills and our rent. We were figuring out all these different things. Plus, we had to we were trying to figure out the stuff with the business. We actually had things that day that we were supposed to do to make money that we didn't do, but it's like what we learned from this last time, because we started our business in 2017. And like I was telling y'all, it was going up. Like our business was going up. Yeah. Like no cocky stuff, I just learned that Sagittarius is arrogant. I'm a Sagittarius. So
don't start.
No, but seriously, no cocky stuff though. Like our business was going up, like, and I like in all different aspects, but definitely financially. I mean, like up, right? So it was like, you know, we was just all in on business. Like, we was missing family time. We was missing a lot of stuff. Of course, nothing like any deaths or anything. Like, we went to my aunt's funeral during that time and things, but like actual family time. I feel like you should see family more than just, you know, it being a bad thing, you know, being a funeral or someone sick or something like that. And so when we fell hard this time with our business, I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. We both agreed, you know, but this was like a conversation. I was just like thinking, you know, because when you fall, you kind of like what you think, you reflect. And so now that we're building things back, of course it's not where we want it to be. We have ways to go, you know, but we did it once, we could do it again. But I will never not be there for the people that I love. Even like all the monumental things, we're going to be there for. So yeah.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. But also, you guys, like, on top of all that, we did have 2 interviews. I'll just speak a little briefly on the interview that I had. It was a job that I really wanted. I don't know if I should say or if I'm going to say the name, but it was a job that I wanted.
Big company.
And it wasn't really close to where I live, but it was like transportation distance.
You wanted
wise.
to do
It was good. Yeah, it was good. So, I got to the 3rd round. I think, was it second or
last
third
round?
Yeah, the last round, and I didn't get it. So that was kind of rough for me, you guys. Like, I did have my moment where I was like, damn, like I just wanted to, like, you know, give up on the whole job search. But I had to remember, like, you know, sometimes you are going to get some no's, but it is a time that I'm going to get a yes. So I don't want to just give up. But that was my interview.
Yeah, and I had an interview too, and I was going to the next step at the same time, and I wind up not getting that job either. It was the weirdest thing because I wouldn't say I bombed the interview, but it was certain things I didn't know, you know, to say during the interview. So not bombed it, but I didn't answer correctly on one of the things. It was for like a tech sales, and you're supposed to close the interview, and I didn't know I was supposed to close the interview. So anyway, that whole thing happened, and so they called me and they're like, you can still work. Like, basically they offered me a job, but not the job I applied for. It was like what you call a BDR, the person who calls for the account executive. And so, you know, we need a job, we need money, y'all. We know this is what this whole thing is about. So of course I'm taking it. I took the offer, and then 3 weeks later, they rescinded the offer because the higher up sales ops basically didn't want because basically the woman who interviewed me, she wanted me to be her BDR. And they told her that I can be her BDR. That's basically like an assistant to the salesperson. Like, you know, you find the leads and stuff. And so it's a way to get your foot in the door, and it's still decent pay and stuff. And they told her she can get one, and then they're like, never mind. Just kidding. Haha. Like, you don't get a BDR. And so they literally rescinded the offer. This job market, I've heard from me, like, you know, studying everything and talking to people, research, whatever. A lot of people have been going through that. So that was a lot for me, because it's like, you think you have a job and then you don't. And of course, you guys are getting our stories months back, like a couple months back. So at the time, heartbroken. Now, things have transpired. It's like, okay, I see you guys. I see why that happened. But at the time, heart crushed.
But for today, y'all, in this episode, where, you know, that's kind of what we got going on for this episode. We do want to thank y'all for, you know, spending time for us. Those who are watching, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Please share the video as well. Keep coming back, y'all, because we got a lot for y'all. Like she said, these are months back. We just decided to document our days, and we're recording them now. Like, literally, actually everything that happened.
And this is Grind with Heart, Creep Grinding, and let's get to work.
Yeah.
Bye. Who's this one viewer? You should. Oh.